feel like everyone in the Premier League is singing, Eric Ten Hag, we want you to stay. At what point does this Manchester United job, and do we get to a point where, is this the same luster, or is there the same luster about this Manchester United job that there was in the past? Because it's shocking to me.
No chance.
It's shocking to me that a manager has been this poor consistently to start a season. Yes, trophies are one thing, but you still don't have any sense of direction of who you want to come in and what direction you want to go?
Yeah, no identity, no pattern of play, no clear cohesion. I think it's, you think about it though, I think it shows just what a mess Manchester United are in ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, right across the club. They talk about things being world class. Dave Brailsford has been on record saying we want world class here. They've identified 2028 as the year when they'll be challenging again for the Premier League. They are a million miles from that. And they've got to get themselves their own house in order to talk of a new stadium, how they're going to strip back the club, bring back its core values. But they are all over the show right now. And to your question as to what has got to happen, how bad can it get before they're forced to make a change? In my experience, directors, chairmen, owners of clubs, they can deal with difficult times, the manager going through a difficult time, they can back him, but it's when the crowds turn on them, when it starts to become uncomfortable sitting in that director's box, when the crowd start chanting, sack the board, when they start feeling heat, that is when normally something that triggers a reaction. So right now, I think a lot of Manchester United fans, they were so excited when Ineos came in. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, local boy, not just done good, local boy, done billionaire, done amazing, and a real Manchester United fan. They thought this was it. This was the ticket. All of his expertise, his professionalism, his involvement in other sports, this was going to take Manchester United back to where they belong in the eyes of so many fans. What? And if you look at all the pieces, that's what should have happened. It's actually gone the opposite way.
How far removed are we from those protests at Old Trafford against the Glazers? Was that right after COVID? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was still in charge. They protested against the board, and now we're asking for the fans. Like, if the fans really want the club to go in another direction, it's against the new ownership, I guess. Protests against the board now. But it seems like, Jeff, I'm going to challenge you on that, because it has happened before, and if they want Manchester United to go into a whole direction, I think we need to start peeling back so many layers to this onion that it's not just the too many cooks in the kitchen now. It feels like ever since post-Alex Ferguson, when there was one man that was so omnipotent with the club culture, the structure, he's gone. It felt like Manchester United wasn't left in a place where they can succeed, because they've gone manager after manager after manager after manager after manager, and we're still having these same conversations, Jeff.
Yeah, no, as I alluded to just there, Nico, because ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, because he ran so much of the club has basically fallen apart because there wasn't the structure in place. But don't forget, he worked for a long time under the Glazers, so they were aware of what the structure was and how the club was being run or not run, if you like. And they're still the majority owners of the club, haven't put anything in place. So it's broken. It doesn't work as it is. The other thing, going back to the potential sacking of Eric Ten Hag, if they can't get the candidate they want, what do? Get another interim manager? That'd be what, their third, fourth, fifth? I've lost count of how many interim managers.
The job is yours, Jeff. You got it, Jeff. I know you want it.
Shrije, I will put you in charge of the club tomorrow, and then name Nico and I as your assistants.
Look, it's a mess, and the fact that, as I said, it's inertia. That is what they've got right now. Nothing's happening. They're either going forwards or they're going backwards in terms of results. You look at those players there. Also as well, can you tell me a single player who's arrived at Manchester United on their watch who has improved? You look at that list now, any of you tell me which player there has improved since he came to the club. I can't name one, can you?
Lisandro Martinez might be.
He's taken his game.
He just got dropped. He just got dropped
in spurts. I'd say he has
I would say maybe a month ago, he was one of Manchester United's best players, but no, if I'm trying to make an argument for somebody, Onana has gotten better since he got there because he started so poorly. But was he a better keeper at Inter? I would probably say so.
Inter and Ajax.
No, it's a long list. It's not as though we can leap to one and say, yeah, he's better. The other thing as well, they're 14th in the table right now. I don't think there's any panic at boardroom level. They're not thinking, we're going to get sucked into the relegation zone. Of course there isn't. But they start losing matches to other mid-table clubs, then the reality of where they are and how far they've fallen, and those fan protests start, that is when the heat will come on. It's just, which seems ridiculous because it is as plain as the nose on your face. This isn't good enough. The manager, he is not getting the best out of these players. The recruitment isn't good enough. The results, it's not that they're just not good enough. They're absolutely terrible. Absolutely, they're disastrous. What more do they need the owners of the football club, particularly Ineos, who are in charge of the football operations, to see they need to make changes? And they need to make them now. Because everything in the football club stems from the results. And a new coach coming in, how many of those players is he going to want to keep? They've got a huge amount of money to spend. It's a massive job to turn this juggernaut around.
Yeah, a lot of...
Let's turn our attention then to Club Matters, Mercer. A near 7-hour-long meeting for Manchester United's executives earlier this week for clarification on Erik Ten Hag's future. You're sort of getting to the point where you're feeling a little bit of sympathy for him because you just want a decision to be made one way or the other.
I don't think he does. I think he wants to just keep hanging in there. I mean, he don't want a decision. His decision, he's still manager of the football club. Yeah, I think he stays for a while now. Always a big time this 2-week international break. Some people do get that bit of panic in clubs and go, we've got to change our manager. It gives us 2 weeks. I think this is probably telling you he's going to get a little bit more time. I'd be quite shocked if he didn't. I mean, unless they're looking for a manager that was already in a job, but I can't see that neither. So I think it's a real confidence booster for Ten Hag. I think they're thinking, we've come this far, we might as well keep on going. And it's not the manager, it's the players.
But for the players then, do you think it gets to a stage where because of this uncertainty, it gives them even more of an excuse to keep churning out the sort of performances we've seen so far this season, and actually a bit further back before that?
You hope not. They're playing. I keep on saying it. I still think they're the biggest club in the world, Man United. Not the biggest team in the world anymore, but they're the biggest club in the world. And I just think these players need to understand, they're playing for an unbelievable football club. All you can go out and do is give your all. I thought they were unlucky on Sunday at Villa. I thought they'd done well. But they've got to do